Oh, hello. My name is Stacy Magadans. I am one of the reference librarians here at Pfau Library. And today I will be showing you ways to find articles through the Pfau Library quickly and easily. I want to make sure that you know that the library pays for a lot of content online so that the students and the faculty of the university don't have to pay for it on their own. We pay for it on behalf of the whole campus so that everyone can have access to these materials for their research and study and teaching. So we certainly want you to take the best advantage of that service that's available to you. So I will show you two approaches today, one using a more general tool and one using a more specific tool. But first, we need a topic. So I'm going to take a sample topic of how sleep affects college students' performance in school. All right, so I have my topic. Now I need to break it into keywords. Those are the terms I'm going to enter in my search that my computer engine will look for. So one of those is obvious, that's sleep. And the second one is pretty obvious. That's the population that I'm interested in, which is college students. The third concept I have there is a little more vague, how well you do in school. So I think I'll start with the term grades, because grades are often used as a measure of how well a student is doing in school. So now that I have my terms, my keywords, I can go ahead and start my search. And here you are looking at the library's homepage. As I mentioned, I will do a general approach, and that's using OneSearch, which is right up here at the top of our page. Down here is the more specialized approach that I'll show you second, okay? But OneSearch is our biggest, broadest search. It covers articles, books, videos, all kinds of material. And I am just going to begin by typing my search terms into the box. So as I'm typing, you can see that some options unfold underneath my search box. Now, you can look only for books that we have here. You can look only for books at all CSU libraries. There is an articles section here as well, but most people just leave it on everything. And everything is the top level search, the broadest search you can do. So I will just leave it that way, but I'll point out some things you might want to take advantage of to sharpen up your search. Okay, so I have some results, and it happens that my top couple of results here are articles. I can see that they're labeled that way. But because I'm in the everything scope, I can get things that aren't articles at all. So here I see a couple of books, and I don't want those. So the first thing I want to do is over here on the side of the page, I want to refine my results. So first thing I would always do is limit my search to only the peer-reviewed, or they're also called scholarly or academic journals. Frequently, that's a requirement on your assignment, and so that limit is right up front there. Okay, so now I have a much smaller set of results, and all those books are gone. So I'm only looking at articles so far. Okay, so what do I have here? I have a little bit of the title of the article, some of the citation, and a little snippet of what it's about. Okay, so the first thing I like to do is skim over the titles and see what looks interesting. So I actually see a couple here that could be pretty interesting, judging by the titles. Let me go ahead and take a look at this one, for instance. So when I click on the title, it takes me to the full record for this item. So I still have, here's my basic stuff that was on my initial results list. But as I scroll down, a couple of things to point out. Right here, this is labeled summary. You might also see it called abstract. This is a one paragraph summary of what's going on in this article. I always take a look at these because it'll help me decide if this is really relevant to what I want without my having to actually go and look at the whole article yet. Some other things over here on this side of the page, OneSearch has tried to suggest some things that are related to this article I'm looking at. So just like the thing in Amazon where it tries to say, people who bought this thing, they also bought these other things. Well, people who clicked on this article, they also clicked on these articles. So hopefully they are related to the same topic. And actually, I'm seeing some really interesting titles among those. There could be like here, that one looks pretty interesting. So I might want to go investigate some more of those, right? It's another way for me to find material. But okay, I've decided I really want to get this article. So it's telling me that it is available online to me, and it's giving me all the places where it's available. It's actually a couple of different databases that we subscribe to. But all I really need to do to go and get it is click on the link that OneSearch gave me. Now, I have to be signed in as a CSUSB person, because this is one of those things that we pay for. So it's not available to the entire world, but it is available to me as a CSUSB user. And once we connect, okay. So in this case, it took me right to the PDF of the article. And I would always advise students, if you have found the article that you like and you've got the option for a PDF, make sure that you download it and save it, okay? So even though I've got it on the screen, I haven't saved it yet, but I'm gonna go here and make sure that I have downloaded that, okay? And I can give it a more sensible name, something that might make sense to me, and then go ahead and save that on my local drive. Now it's mine to keep for as long as I want it. I won't have to worry about finding it again. And also, I can read it offline, I can do whatever I want to, and I can keep it in a place where I know that it'll be, okay? So that was nice and easy. It took me right where I want it to be. I'm gonna close that tab so that I am back at OneSearch. And I'm gonna close this record so that I can look at something else. Now, you'll notice here on my short list of results, many of these are saying that you can read them online or they have the full text online, they're available online. Okay, and most of them say that, but this one here does not say that. It says request this item from other libraries. So what if I was interested in this article? Let's say that I looked at the summary and I thought, oh yeah, this is really perfect, but it's not here. What can I do? Okay, so you have a couple of options. You can check for a free version in Google Scholar. You never know, maybe someone posted an open access copy of it out on the web. Maybe the author put it up. It's just one click to find out. So here it is, it's run that search for me in Google Scholar. This is not looking real positive, but let me double check on it. So it says it's restricted, and how would I get access? Oh, this is very confusing. Access through my institution, except I was just at my institution and it would have told me if I had access to it. So I know that's not going to work. But if I go here and it says, oh, purchase access for 24 hours, you can download it and it's $37.50. Okay, right then you say no, and you just back right out of that. You would never want to pay for content like this on the web because we can get it for you for free. So I'm just going to close this out entirely. I am back here in OneSearch, and here is my second option. It says, please sign in to see request options and place requests. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Again, it wants me to identify myself through my Coyote. Now I have the option to request a digital copy. Okay. Normally we can get these within 24 hours. So I would just say request that. They will notify me by email when my article is ready. So all I really have to do is just click send. Okay. And what happens next? Okay, so my request was successfully placed. As it said, I will get an email notifying me when my article has arrived and my PDF of that article is ready to download. But you can also monitor those here in the My Library account area of OneSearch. So if I go here to my requests, it will show me what I have requested. So here's the one that I just asked for. But here's one that I asked for yesterday, and it has arrived, and I did get an email. But I can also download it from here. If I forgot, I get 30 days in which to download a copy and save it. Then it will disappear from here after those 30 days. But the copy I saved on my local drive is mine to keep for as long as I want. Okay. And again, there is no charge for any of this for CSUSB folks. Okay. So a very handy service if the perfect article just happens to not be available immediately as full text. Okay, so let me go back to my list of results here for a second. Now there's some interesting things here on this page, but I want to point out something here. So sleep patterns in college students, gender and grade differences. Well, that seems like it might be interesting, except when I look at the summary, it turns out that what they mean by grade is not, did you get an A or a B or a C? What they mean by grade is, are you a freshman, a sophomore, junior, senior? And that's not actually what I'm interested in. So it's a false match. So I probably need to change my search up a little bit to see if I can get some better results. So one of the things that I saw, particularly on this article that I really liked, it used this term academic performance. Now, I didn't think of that. I was only thinking in terms of like grades, right? So I should probably change my keywords to see if I can get better outcomes. So one thing I need to do before I do that, here I have this filter that says peer-reviewed journals. Now, OneSearch is a little bit unique in that every time you do a search, it's going to reset the filters because it's got so many different kinds of material. So if I want to keep this filter on while I am changing up my keywords, I need to click that little lock symbol. And now it has locked that filter for peer-reviewed journals in place until I remove it. All right, so I'm going to come up here and I'm going to change grades to academic performance. Let's see how that works out. Okay, so, okay, there I saw that one before. That was my original one. Oh, and here's another one, sleep habits and academic performance in college students. Excellent, okay. And that's looking exactly like what I want. And again, I can go read it online. And again, I might have to download the PDF before I can get into the meat of the article here, right? And again, always save them locally if you found one you like. So that's the basics of finding an article in OneSearch. There are some other limits you can apply here that I didn't talk about. The most commonly used one would be publication date. Sometimes you may have an assignment that says, oh, you can only use things from, 2015 up to the present, right? So you can apply that as a limit to your search as well, okay? All right, so if I'm going back to the library's homepage, right here, we have OneSearch, that's where we were looking before, but I mentioned there is a specialized option, and that's here under Choose a Database, Specialized Research Tools. So where OneSearch covers a little bit of everything, the databases, by and large, are focused on a particular discipline, topic area. So we've arranged them here kind of by subject, although some of them are also like by type of material they cover, like newspapers or articles and so on. But I'm going to go here under psychology because behaviors like sleep habits are things that psychologists study a lot. So looking at the psychology literature might help me. Now here I have arranged the most useful databases for this topic. They are in alphabetical order, not in order of importance. But I'm going to choose PsycInfo. PsycInfo is the big research index for psychology. Now I have a little bit different kind of search box here, but I'm going to choose those same keywords that I did before. So I'm going to do sleep, college students, and grades. And after I run that search, okay. First thing you might notice is this is a much smaller set of results. But again, I'm getting some different kinds of material. This one is from an academic journal, but that's a thesis and that's a book. So once again, I'm going to put this limiter on for the scholarly and peer-reviewed journals. And okay, so that took out some of that other material that I didn't want to see. Now, I've got, oh, that's interesting. The relationship between sleep length and grade point average. Hey, I don't think I saw that one before. The principle here is the same. You get a little bit about the article on the first set of, the first page here, and I can click on the title and get the full information about it. So here I can see the abstract, okay, and exactly what went on in this study that they conducted. So this one, as it turns out, does have the full text here. It's not a PDF, which is unusual, but at least it has the web version of the text. So I could still, for example, email that to myself or save a copy if I wanted to, okay? But let's go back to our list of results. Now, you'll notice that a lot of these do not have the full text, okay? This one does not, whereas this one does, okay? That one says it has the PDF, but this one is just showing me a button that says search for the full text, right? And in fact, most of these here are like that. All right, so in that case, if that's an article that interests me, I need to go ahead and click that blue button. And what that will do is it's actually looping me back into OneSearch. Okay, you might recognize this now as being OneSearch. And it has checked for me to see if we have that online, and it turns out that we do. So there it is. And I can, again, get to it and get the PDF, which I can save and keep. Okay. And there it is. So if you get into one of these specialized databases and you don't see the full text, don't panic. The search for full text button will help you with that. Now, same thing again about always trying to fiddle with your keywords. This isn't a bad search, but as I look at these articles here, I see there is a subject academic achievement. Now, again, I didn't see that one before. I did grades and I did academic performance, but what if I do academic achievement? Because I know that PsycInfo uses that term as a subject. So let's see how that works out. Oh, okay. Again, some new things that I had not seen before that might be interesting. So that did turn out to be a better search. Okay. All right. So that is the basics of how to find an article from file library. So we covered using a general search tool like OneSearch, or using a specialized research tool from our list of databases. We covered using filters and also changing up keywords.